Welcome everyone to this second episode of Elindos Records. This is the place and the moment where you will learn many things about EXODE concepts, about what is being made in development and what is planned for the next day. This is also the place and the moment where you will learn about upcoming events. And in September already, we have many of them. One of the most important events will be revealed to you as a first topic, but just before I get there, I wanted again to thank you for being here. Also to explain that Elindos Records is a concept of me stopping development to share some information with you. And I'm doing it without composing. I could do a lot of composing if I would like, but this will delay development further. So we'll get there later. Later, we'll have maybe Elindos Records jingle, or maybe we'll ask the community for one, and maybe I'll do some composing then. But right now, let's just speak EXODE. And the first event I wanted to speak to you about is Dygycon. It's coming in just 1 month, September 25th. I think this is how we say it in English. And September 25th is the moment when you could just connect to the Dygycon virtual conference, which is free. It is free for you. And where we could discuss EXODE further. I will be there for 3 hours. So I expect that I will also welcome new players, and maybe also you could help me by sharing some information to people while I will not be there because I will be talking with someone else. But I will be there 3 hours, and there are also events, also speeches there. And we have a booth there for EXODE, as you can see here. And I wanted at Dygycon, to be there because I think it is important. We are a Hive game, and Dygycon is organized by our big brothers at Splinterlands. So it is a way for us to say, hey, we Hive games are here to stay, and we have things to say as well. But also it is a moment where we can show who we are to other professionals, of course, but also to new players. We are in alpha, so it is not really an objective, I always mention that growth, player growth, is not an objective right now. This will make maybe some people crazy, but it is how we really master the pipeline and the evaluation as well. We know we can have a very large reach, okay? We can get to many people with EXODE, and we'll do that. But in alpha, we want to have the reach we need to test features and deploy them. And once we deploy more features and the game is even better, then we get to reach more people to say, hey, test EXODE now, it's so great. And we do that step by step. Thanks to this step-by-step program, you can see evaluation happen. Even lately, when we added just a few hundred players, it doubled, tripled, or multiplied by 4 the value of cards. And now that boosters are depleted, this was the subject of the previous Elindos record. This means that players can only get boosters, alpha boosters from other players. So they immediately took value, of course, as a result. But you can imagine that this will continue in beta. Because even if you think we have nearly 1,000 accounts, you can imagine what will happen when we have 10,000 in beta. So, or what will happen at release. I say this, I think I will say it at every Elindos record episode because it is something important, and surprisingly, it is something that seems to define us right now because we don't want to get to our maximal reach in player agents yet. We want to add the good, perfect players that you are, of course, to test features, to receive feedback, to refine things. And then we get to increase our player base. And we'll do that really fast once we start pushing the buttons and telling everything to the rest of the world. So Dygycon is one step where we talk about us to other people. It is nice to do that as well. And I think it is good. And I think because Dygycon has a few thousand visitors, it is a good moment to experience what people will think about EXODE. However, this has changed a few priorities. I will speak again in this episode now. So at Dygycon, we will receive new players, but we will also receive new accounts. And there is something to say which is really big. There was an idea in the EXODE Pilots Discord channel, an idea about proposing starters to people who will visit our booth there. And well, at first I was surprised because I said EXODE cannot really give starters for free because there are also people who paid for starters, and there will someone feel that something odd is happening here. But then Elite Pilots proposed that they will actually sponsor these packs. So this means that you have current EXODE captains who have been sponsoring boosters for you, boosters for new players, I mean, that will come to us at Dygycon. And the other surprising thing is that we even exceeded our target here because we aim for 36 starters with 12 of each type. And we are already, we ended up with 53 starters instead. So this means we have even more starters to give than what we aim for. We'll see how we'll manage that, but this means that if new people come to us at Dygycon, we will give them the starters. So first of all, don't expect to abuse of these gifts by creating several accounts and coming to us again and again at the booth to get them, because I may as well set them up as bond starters. This means that you will not be able to sell them after receiving them as a gift. But I will also do the magic about creating your account and managing the gift. Now, this also helps us to refine of our giveaway system. We will actually give to our sponsors, the ones who sponsor the starters, sponsor points, and they will be able to show them. It will be honorary at first, and we also think about something special to give to the people who are sponsoring these packs, to thank them. So this was the first topic we are getting at Dygycon, and this is big. We have moderate booths there because we're not yet in beta. It is not yet the moment where I want to talk to everyone about us. But we have a booth there, and we will be able to talk to me there whenever I am available, of course. And we will also give boosters, and we also, I must say it, boosters. There are 20 alpha boosters which have been taken out from the wax pool to be reserved for this event. So there will be boosters to win, and there will be starters for new players. Now let's get to the second topic of this Elindos Records, and this is another big thing. Because we are doing that next week, I also decided to make a bit more, to prioritize, I mean, something about our website. This is a task which was planned for this month, and this is a task which is now planned for a bit earlier this month, because it's really better if the new website comes out before September 25th, so that new players can experience it as well. Our previous website was okay, but we've been with it for some time already. And with the new website, I wanted also to refine the first experience. And because I wanted also to refine the first evacuation experience, and this is what players experiences the most. And this is the first contact they get with EXODE content. And regarding evacuation, people are often a bit lost. Evacuation is not exactly something hard in its concept. You just have to load fuel and press the launch button after fixing your repair drive. So you fix your repair drive and you press launch once the alarm rings out. It's pretty simple actually. But as usual in EXODE, you also have many other decisions you can take. You don't want to abandon the rest of your crew itself. So this means that evacuation, this is evacuation here, is getting a bit of refinement this month. So during this next week, so the next 7 days, I will first work on the website, and I will then work a bit on evacuation. And then there is Dygycon. And after Dygycon, I get back to our visual roadmap, which is away teams. So while we're speaking about roadmap, which is also the topic of today, there are several things which have been made. First of all, our white paper here, there is a lot of documentation you can get there. So our white paper is a place of documentation that has been created and added, and that will be linked now on our new website. The white paper details many sections. I will get to it again. So it speaks about what is EXODE, core gameplay, PvP, PvE, about cooperation, press squadrons, alliances, alliance projects. So get to read that if you want to know how EXODE manages its alliances. NFT ownership, also investment, staking, and what is extremely important too, it is where I started to detail the concept of evacuation fleets. I started to detail it because there were a bit more questions about it, and people are also trying to suggest their ideas about it. So I wanted to share with people what EXODE had in store for you in evacuation fleets. So in EXODE, players have cards on the collection of cards. And when they launch a game, they select an origin, a chip, and crew, because these are the 3 things that are mandatory to launch a game. You can't launch a game without a ship, or an origin, or without pilots or things as a crew. And when you launch a game, these cards are locked to your ongoing game. Sorry. So the first question that often comes is, okay, can I launch several games, or can I get a planet with every game? And the answer is yes. And then the immediate idea of people is, oh, so I may launch many games and get many planets. And the answer is also yes, but in EXODE, before you get your planet to be mature enough to trade things, you have also to do your job well. You have to take important decisions, and every planet will be different. So this means that the ways you will have to generate food or energy or medicine will be different with every of these games. This means that maybe for one, this will be on a planet you'll find that will be abundant on your planet. Maybe for another, the wildlife will be way too aggressive and will not have taken enough bullets with you. And well, maybe this colony will die off unless you decide to make something else to trade as food. Okay, so there are steps before your colony is mature. And even if you can launch several games, we don't expect you to force you to launch as many games as you can, or even beyond your limit as a player. It will be very worthwhile if you have 36 or 60, 53 games at the same time. It will be perfectly helpful. Aliens will eat many of games, and I don't think it will be very fun for you. So because we don't want players to feel that they must play as many games as possible, we are also proposing other features. And one of these features is the concept of evacuation fleets. You can read on our white paper, I will share the link below in this article, some more information about it. But the concept is that you can, away from other games, decide to set up some of your cards as an evacuation fleet that will be staked in the world of 2325. We'll stake it in the world of EXODE. And this fleet will be sent in missions there. And these evacuation missions will give you rewards. And with these rewards, you will be able to boost your current games or mean something or get new cards even. So because these are new means, we will, of course, like everything, be wise about the value of it. What is really nice in EXODE is that we have so many interesting layers in the game that we can actually release one of these layers or address it better without eating the valuation of other things. This is something which is very important in EXODE and is already working. I mean, we have weapons, we have characters, we have ships, we have origin cards, we have installations, we have software, we have so many things already. Weapons, ships, characters are being used. And it is not because you raise a new weapon, for instance, that you reach the variation of characters. Okay, there are some characters with bond weapons, of course, so these ones are extremely important for evacuation, for instance, but you don't destroy the variation by raising new weapons. So this means you can release new cards or new bonuses, such as consumable bonuses, for instance, consumable boots for your colonies, with evacuation fleets. So to get back to the main topic here, this means you can launch several games in EXODE, but you can also stake several evacuation fleets and get more rewards without exceding the fun potential of playing one game, 2 games, or 3 games to their full potential. Okay, so this was another thing which has been released in our white paper, and you maybe by reading there that you will understand many things about EXODE. So as I mentioned, during these 7 days, we are working on our new website, maybe we say in English. So the new website has a new look, and the new look is a bit about, maybe I would call that retro sci-fi. This means that we have some kind of cyberpunk-like interface. There will be also video backgrounds that will insert itself in the background there, the black background, sorry. And I really aim to do that very well. So, but in the end, I don't have many days to release a new website now, and it is okay. Once I will have deployed the new website, I will then work on evacuation. And the dates to evacuation will be quick, but will be essential. As I mentioned before, I will update a choice when you start a new game to access an offline tutorial, and I will create this offline tutorial. I will also better refer the existing player guides. And this is for you to understand evacuation better. And then also I will try to work on a new presentation of orders during evacuation. Okay, these are the only points I will be able to work on, but I think they are important. I will try to use whatever time I have left to do that. I don't know where it will be on September 25th. But once this is completed, we'll get again to work on away teams. So away teams is an update on colonization, and it is part of the core game loop of colonization. So because it is part of the core game loop, I'm working on that a lot. And because I am also refining things in the experience there, maybe I can, be delayed when I try to add some new sound effects, some new music, some new user interface to it. But I can promise you that away teams will be a great content. and that we have a lot to experience there. And to get again to picture roadmap for you. In September, we are working to prepare Dygycon for September 25th. And then we have a second interview at Crypto Maniacs on September 28th. It is not public yet. This is the date we discussed so far. And once we have done that, I work on the release of away teams. After away teams are released, we are certainly going into trouble, and I will work on resource teams, which is the second update in colonization game loop. Then we'll get another update called Colony Live that will make a bit complete the colonization experience. And then we will activate tasks and rewards. This is when you'll get what is the closest to quests or even campaigns. There is something we could call a campaign, sorry, a campaign, because there is one about your ship, how to get it into shape, to get into space again. So this is because during landing, you will have damaged your ship again. And the quick fixes that an engineer would have made in space before landing, well, these are quick jobs. This is not the total repairs that you can expect to have to do on your ship. And so there will be quests and there will be one about fixing your ship. Then will be normally in November, between November and December, we'll release our colonization challenge, which should make alpha a bit complete as regarding testing colonization features, deploying and testing them. And during the colonization challenge, Alliance will maybe toast a few planets. This is also where we'll test the balance regarding Alliance. Okay, so this is when you have to survive many threats on your planet during the colonization challenge, just like our courageous captains already survived an evacuation challenge last December. And then we'll get your feedback and we'll see what we should refine, and we'll set up ourselves for the real seasons and for better release. So this is our roadmap so far. We release away teams, then research teams, then colony life. And once we have done these three, we activate tasks and rewards, which will get our test season almost going like a real season would. And we'll get a colonization challenge that will have rewards in Hive, rewards in boosters, rewards in special cards as well. So you want to be there for the whole colonization challenge, and you want to have already picked your cards and set up your new test games. There will be ways to set up a new colonization game there for the colonization challenge. And once we have done the colonization challenge, it will be time to party, and also for me to work on many reports and feedbacks that we have made. And once everything there will be done, I think I'll work again on the first experience to make evacuation perfect, and then on scanning, which is lacking a bit in features right now. And we'll set up our beta content. So that's all for this current episode of Elindos Records. The next one will really be about away teams. It will detail the things that you have there, the several worlds you can use, and where you can send away teams to on your planet, and the mission progress. We will really have fun detailing everything there, with everything that can happen to teams, and how events are going to be really interactive. Thank you all. I'll get back to work now. I'm sorry if I can't say many more things today, but rest assured that EXODE is going to be big. And this step process is going to get us exactly where we want to be. Thank you, captains, and see you soon on episode 3.